Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, 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 welcome to the Vicki Show. We're typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for joining us. It is indeed a privilege and an honor to be with you today. Shout out to you, Cassandra and Catherine and Kenneth and others that are in the digital building. A great big shout out to our beautiful moderators. We thank you so much for joining us. We thank our moderators for spending their time to keep us organized as we reach the world. Thank you so very much. Y'all give a digital black hand for our moderators in the building that does such an amazing job for us. They do such an amazing job. Thank every single one of you that do that. Listen, just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into our topic today. And of course, we're going to be talking about whether you know it or not. We're going to be talking about NBA. I believe that stands for Never Broke Again. Young Boys. This is this rapper from New Orleans. Young Boy's mom publicly advises him to be prepared to shoot his haters. Lord have mercy. This is bigger than Young Boy. This is bigger than even his mother. And I want us to get into it. But just before we do, family, again, briefly, just a little bit of housekeeping. I want you all to know that I start the mastermind class tonight officially, clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com for more information. I'm so excited. Tonight is our question and answer in our private VIP group for the upcoming weeks after that. I'm telling you, I've been receiving so many downloads. It's going to bless your socks off. Shout out to you, Noah 6, for your gift. First one that gave to support Black media. Bless your gift 1,000-fold. Family, make sure that you thumbs up, like, and share. Why? Because this helps to draw other folk into the broadcast. We must be very strategic. And for that, we thank you. Shout out to you, Joseph. I love you, Vicki. Your show encourages me so much. I love you back. Listen. Also, make sure you text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Thank you, Silent D Production. He says, Court of Vicki Dillard is now in session. All rise. I know that's right. Here's the gavel. This is for you, Silent D Production. Somebody talk black to me. Listen. Also, don't forget, if you want to learn how to build a Black business for a reasonable rate, make sure that you check us out at FlyNubianBusiness.com. You all look at this shirt that a beautiful supporter of ours, of mine, gave me during the All Black National Convention. You all know that Dr. Boyce Watkins does an annual convention of Black business minds and people that come together to network to do amazing things economically for Black people. And can you all read what this says? Reparations 2020, run me my check. Somebody talk black to me. Run us. You see that? Run us what you owe us. Somebody say cut the check. That's all we know. We don't let our open enemies, we don't let political folk confuse us and obfuscate stuff. Confuse stuff. We're very clear about what the Black agenda is. The Black agenda, the Black policy that any would-be president in this upcoming 2020 election is cut the check. It's real simple. We don't let you complicate stuff. We're not talking about investigations. We're not talking about Black studies, just like you studied this $2 trillion in breakneck speed time. It's real simple. Somebody say cut the check. Don't engage in all kind of essays with folk. Don't let them get you confused with stuff. Don't forget that this relief funds, this COVID-19 relief funds, on the low end, they're expecting it to be 5 to 7 trillion with a T. In this time, you say do T in sign language. It's just a T in sign language. And now you got the squad, which is Ayanna Presley and Ilhan Omar and AOC and some of the Black and Hispanic ladies, congresswomen that get together, they call themselves the squad. They're sitting out here with their funny looking self advocating money to go to non-citizens, illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. What you guys look like being unified before the world, telling us how illegal immigrants have contributed to this country in paying taxes, which that might be true. But the priority, somebody say B1. Somebody say B1. B1 stands for Black first. First means we're the priority. So the squad should have gotten together to do a press conference before the world about reparations. If you can acknowledge non-citizens contributing in taxes to this country, people that broke federal law to get here, surely on that same line of thinking, that same train of thought, your mind ought to be like, well, the people that built the country, the people that spark an economic boom all around the world, the people that built Washington, D.C., that's responsible for majority of the inventions that we have today, surely, they're worthy of their own press conference with the squad coming together saying Black first. Somebody say reparations 2020. Somebody say run us what you owe us. Ain't nobody playing with y'all's funny looking self. You funny looking Democrats don't believe fat meat is greasy. You trying to play us. Nobody is scared out here like that. We've been catching hell under Trump and under Democratic, both Republican and Democratic administrations. We'll take our chances on Trump. Trump is no good. Trump is a sure sign of the fall of America. I'm going to say it again for you funny looking people that think that we're sitting here supporting a Donald Trump. No, knucklehead. The fall of America is prophesied because of your refusal to do right by us. I'm going to get ready to get on this NBA, a young boy and his mama. But I want to start off. I got to, because we got an election coming up here. You don't go chit-chatting about $2 trillion, which is our money. I need somebody black. I need somebody black. I need somebody black. Is there anybody in the Black digital building out here? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Be sure to like and share. I'm going to get in and get out because I have my mastermind question and answer tonight. So I've got to go in a short few minutes to set up for that. But I have to put this out here real quick. I want this to be real clear. You don't get to talk about non-citizens and illegal aliens before you talk about the foundational Black Americans who made prosperity and economics possible for America and sparked it around the world. Bust up the squad. You don't do no press conference. You don't come together. You don't have some kind of unified voice for illegal aliens, non-citizens before foundational Black Americans. Somebody put hashtag FBA. Y'all send them this link in case they're confused. You don't get to do that. Now, Vicki, get on with this. Watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Here we go. I got so much that I got to say in a short amount of time. By the way, I'm going to be again tonight, clubvicki.com, where my mastermind starts tonight, question and answer, and it's going to be amazing in the upcoming weeks where we're going to discuss. Listen. I want you to understand something. I was saddened, but not surprised. I was saddened, but not surprised when I listened to this audio clip of NBA YoungBoy's mom. This is a rapper from New Orleans, 20 years of age. His mom publicly on an Instagram Live advises him to be prepared to shoot his detractors. I'm going to let you listen to a little bit of a clip of that, but here's his mom right here. And that's the rapper that we're referring to. Let me go back to it. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. This is where I'm at right now, my Instagram page. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Vicki X Dillard. Y'all see that? Now, I want to tell you now, if you have children, please beware that this language that she uses is quite explicit and frankly disturbing. It's quite explicit and disturbing. So parents, please, guardians, please get ready to make provisions if you are with children right now. I want to give you a quick moment to get that together. Shout out to you, Joseph, for your gift. When I get my millions, I plan to invest multi-millions to your show. Oh, I received that. Bless your business. Bless your business. A millionfold. Thank you, Joseph. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. I always like to read that disclaimer, that legal disclaimer, before I show you a clip of something, even though this is totally accessible and all over social media. I want you to listen. Are y'all ready, parents? If you have children, again, I want to give you a warning. You know, I don't use this kind of language, but they use this kind of language, and I want you to be aware of it. Here is this rapper, NBA, young boy's mother speaking. Just so you know, this is the image. Again, this is the image of his mom, he and his mother. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? You all know I'm going to give this historical context. This is not about beating up on his mother. You all know I don't believe in that kind of stuff, but family, when we highlight certain things, when we endeavor to have an understanding of what went wrong with us and how we've been made, somebody say made. We've been made other than ourselves. Right now, Black folk are acting as savages. A savage, when I use the word savage concerning Black folk, that means one that has basically lost the knowledge of themselves. When I'm talking about a savage, Black folk becoming savages, we were made that way. Our nature is righteousness. But your open enemy constructed you, engineered you, programmed you, conditioned you to be savages, to be out of your mind. So when we highlight these behaviors, we're highlighting, watch this, the work of the enemy. Are y'all hearing me? When we're highlighting this, we're highlighting the work of the enemy. An enemy has done this to us on purpose. Are y'all hearing me? An enemy has done this to us on purpose. And when we highlight the fact that an enemy has done this, that an enemy has installed malware in our computers, it's our responsibility to do the work of what? Cleaning it up, removing the viruses. Is that right, family? So my goal is to highlight this, to let you know that you're acting other than your righteous divine self. And your enemy did it to you on purpose. And if your enemy did it to you on purpose, it's because they wanted us to lose. They want us dead, deaf, and dumb. So because your enemy did the work of making you dead, deaf, and dumb, do you think for 1 second, if they intentionally made you this way, that they're going to be the ones to help bring you into your right mind? No, that's your job. Just like it's going to be us that's going to be ultimately responsible for underwriting Black businesses, Black schools, and a new Black reality. So it's our job to do the new conditioning, the reprogramming. Is that right, Vicki? Get on with it. Get on. Here we go, family. Hopefully I gave you enough time, parents and guardians, to get your children situated. By the way, family, keep giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share. I know this is in the middle of the week today. I believe at the right time, the right people will hear this podcast. On the count of three, while I set this up, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit the thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Well, that's a grown man over there. That's a grown man over there. And I promise you, I don't want my child running behind nobody, going look for nobody, or none of that. Don't do none of that. I don't want my child doing none of that. But I'm telling this to any mother body that got breath in their mother body. If you go at him, and if you go to him, he better let every mother bullet out he got in his mother, and he better reload it and let it out again. You looking for trouble, get it. You think, oh, bigot, nobody. You think. You making me feel pay you off. I'm talking about my child, because guess what? That's a grown man over there. That's a grown man over there. And I promise you, I don't want my child running behind nobody, going look for nobody, or none of that. Don't do none of that. I don't want my child doing none of that. But I'm telling this to any mother body that got breath in their mother body. If you go at him, and if you go to him, he better let every mother bullet out he got in his mother, and he better reload it and let it out again. You looking for trouble, get it. You think, oh, bigot, nobody.
I let you listen to that from Willie D. Instagram page.
About my child.
And thankfully, the worst of the language was censored. One of the things that I thought was profound that our brother Willie D. put in the description box, he said, it all makes sense now. Having said that, it's not what you say, it's where you say it. Everything is not for public consumption. In other words, even if she rightly wanted her child to defend himself in case someone came at him to take him out, the world didn't need to hear that. It's not for public consumption. It's not for public consumption. Are y'all hearing me today? It's not for public consumption. Somebody just said, okay, thumbs up, family. Keep liking, keep sharing. Watch this. In case you missed some of what she said, I want to read you some of her words here. Somebody say made in America. I need somebody black. You can put a flag in there if you want to. Somebody say made in America. What you just listened to, what you just heard, made in America. Made in America. Made in America. Watch this. I want to read you now. I'm reading to you now from an XXL magazine, which I don't normally endorse this kind of magazine, but the information is clear on what she said. I want you to listen. On Tuesday, April 7th, NBA young boy's mother, her name is Sharonda Galdine, went on Instagram Live to address anyone antagonizing her son following his recent back and forth with Kodak Black. Don't talk about, this is what she said. She said, don't talk about my child, N-word, because guess what? That's a grown A man over there. That's a grown effing man over there. Sharonda continued her rant, warning listeners that her son should be prepared to shoot anyone that might try to provoke him. She goes on, this is a quote. And I promise you, said NBA's mom, I don't want my child running behind nobody, going to look for nobody or none of that. Don't do none of that. I don't want my child doing none of that. But I am telling this to any MF body that got breath in their MF body. If you go at him and if you go to him, B, he better let every MFing bullet out he got in his MFing gun. He better reload it and let that S out again. Somebody say made in America. Somebody say his mother is acting other than her righteous self. But now that you know an enemy has done this, the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? The devastating part about the story of Never Broke Again, young boy. And let me say this, what's ironic about the statement that his mother said, his mother kept repeatedly saying, that's a grown man over there. But even his own rap name is what? Young boy. And mother, even if you wanted your child to protect themselves, as our brother said, it's not only what you say, it's where you say it. And this is a word for our people in general, where some of you support loudmouth ratchets who are violent in speech, reckless in speech. And some of you say, oh, I love them. They be keeping it real. Are y'all hearing me today? Some of you all say, I love so-and-so. They just real, boy. They real, boy. Yeah, real stupid. Real dumb. Real ignorant. Real reckless. And the issue with them, like coronavirus, like COVID-19, is that because they're within proximity, because they're elevated, because they have the ear of the masses, their recklessness, their ratchetness is not limited to just them and their little family. It spreads and it causes death in other people. It causes other folk to be sick just because they've been in proximity to them. Elevated dysfunction. But she's a mirror of what an enemy has done. But now that we acknowledge and that we can see very clearly the working of our enemy, it's up to us to do the work to fix it. Because your open enemy who meant for you to come out like that is not going to turn around and fix you, Black family. Not only that child, but apparently Floyd Mayweather's daughter puts a twist in this. This one is from Oxygen Crime News. It says Floyd Mayweather's daughter arrested after she allegedly stabbed woman during fight over rapper. Would you like to guess what rapper they're referring to? Ayanna Mayweather was allegedly involved in a fight that took place at the home of rapper NBA Youngboy. Somebody say Floyd Mayweather's daughter. One of Floyd Mayweather's daughters was arrested in Texas over the weekend in connection to a young woman's stabbing, according to recent reports. Mayweather, his daughter is 19, was taken into custody around 1:30 a.m. Saturday on suspicion of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, NBC News reports. Mayweather is alleged to have been involved in an altercation that resulted in a 25-year-old woman getting stabbed, local authorities confirmed to the outlet. The alleged victim's injuries were not life-threatening, and she was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. First responders were called to a private residence at 7 p.m. to treat an injured individual, and they were the ones to notify police that a violent altercation may have occurred. Here is the young lady, Floyd Mayweather's daughter, involved in a fight concerning NBA young boy. So it's not just the mothers we're dealing with today, but I want you to pay attention to this. Watch this. Watch this. As I was going through this and I was thinking about the elevated dysfunction of it all, I was reminded of something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said so long ago. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, beloved. Please like and share. Thumbs up, beloved. Like and share. On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Because we're at war, because there's a changing of the guards, which is a good thing, that means that our open enemy is losing power. That's the reason why they elevated Donald Trump. They knew he was a racist. They knew he was a credibly alleged rapist. They knew he was a credibly alleged sexual assaulter. They knew about him paying for numerous women to get abortions, a number of women that he got pregnant. They knew that he was a terrible businessman that intentionally screwed people. But they voted for him anyway. They did that because they share something in common with him, and that is white supremacy. They knew that he would do what it took to ensure other white supremacists maintain levers of power. Because they know, just like we know, that their time is short. They know, just like we know, that their time is short. Watch this. So they were willing to overlook and excuse all of that about Donald Trump. This is a deep reflection, indeed, family, of self-hate. But the first thing that I thought about when I saw that, family, is where is his daddy? The first thing that I thought about when I saw that is where is his father? Because my understanding is he has several other children with, I believe, at least 3 other women. And he's 20 years of age. I listened to an interview that he did where he said that he really didn't have a mother or father. And I also saw where his mother came out and threatened him that if he ever goes back out telling the world that he didn't have a mother basically to raise him or whatnot, that basically she threatened him with that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the first teacher is mother. The first teacher is mother. What are you demonstrating to your children? What are you training them to be and to become? The hand and the work of the enemy is evident, even though there is no longer physical chains. But the mind is chained. Everything is not for public consumption, as our brother said. Is that right? It is inappropriate because when you put things out there publicly, you're influencing people in the wrong direction. You are causing the Black nation, you are causing Black society to self-destruct. And we are here to call it out. I want to show you a reflection. That's what I'm here to do today. When I saw that and when I read that, my heart was grieved, family. My heart was grieved. I was disturbed when I saw it, but I was not surprised because an enemy has done this. But it is our job to take responsibility of this. Where is the father? The parent that stayed, the parent that's visible, the parent that we know of, isn't teaching the baby right. Mama, that's a shame. And here's why it's a shame in part. Because this Black woman just encouraged her child. I'm going to read it again so y'all know I'm not making nothing up. Thank you, Joseph, for your gift. Watch this. This mother just encouraged her child. Watch this. In addition to some of the other disgusting things that she advised him to do. She says, I don't want my child running behind nobody, going to look for nobody or none of that. Don't do none of that. I don't want my child doing none of that. But I am telling this to any MFing body that got breath in their MFing body. If you go at him, and if you go at him, B, he better let every MFing bullet out he got in his MFing gun. And he better reload it and let S out again. Our brother, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, may he rest in power. Our brother, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and I know others have said it as well. Certainly Minister Farrakhan, who was his teacher. And also, obviously, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his teacher as well. Listen, Dr. Khalid Muhammad said something because he did a lot of deep work with gangs, always in the street, on behalf of the minister and on behalf of the minister's teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen, Dr. Khalid said something interesting. Dr. Khalid said in a lecture that I saw many years ago, he sees how the young gangbangers and the brothers are so quick and willing to murder each other. They talk a whole lot of noise. They're willing to murder their brother with the quickness. But they don't have that same kind of energy, and they don't have that same kind of speech for their open enemy that's responsible for their condition in the first place. I said, Dr. Khalid said that. Of course, you all know that I'm not advocating violence, and I know he wasn't either. But your arch enemy, who murders you daily, your open enemy, you tend to forgive. You tend to ignore. But you reserve, you save your violence and your hate and your willingness to kill. Mother, you advised him to murder his brother in a way that I can assure you, you would never tell him to do our 465-year-old open enemy. To be clear, we're not advocating violence, but to watch the sick mindset of a slave, a mindset that has been conditioned and programmed by our open enemy. Something to see. It's fascinating. And she didn't tell him to be ready to defend himself. She didn't tell him to be careful. She made it clear for him to unload that MFer again. That's the reason why we refer to such things as self-hate. And it is a shame. Watch this. It reminded me of bad training that another precious mother, unfortunately, gave her child some time back in Baltimore, Maryland. How many of you all remember the story of this Black mother whose son let me see if I can let you see this. Of course, this was all over social media too. You all remember this mother. Her son, she slaps him. She beats him down. Cameras caught it. And berates him for taking part in the rebellions in Baltimore. How many of you all remember that? I'm going to let you see a quick clip of that just now. And this Black woman who beat the brakes off of her son in front of everybody because her son was engaged in a Black rebellion. Notice I'm saying rebellion, a Black rebellion. Watch this. She was praised and said to be worthy of being awarded as Mother of the Year. Did you all know that? Some of you says yes. Y'all said y'all remember that. Her name was Toya Graham. She was brought on CBS this morning. I believe Gayle King interviewed her. The View covered it. A lot of major talk shows, a lot of major news broadcasters covered it. And they encouraged the beatdown and the violence that she exhibited upon her child. Watch this. A congressman, I don't know if y'all remember this. Did you all know that a congressman went to the floor and shouted her out and congratulated her? They suggested that she be Mom of the Year until they realized that she had a whole bunch of other kids. And apparently there are several fathers involved in it. Y'all remember that? Toya Graham, her son was named Michael Singleton. He was 16 years of age. And some of you might be saying, well, Vicki, what's wrong with that? She was trying to make sure that her son wasn't rioting. No, baby. Why was her son out there? I can understand the concern of any mother, but why was her son out there, family? Because of the injustice of racist police that was murdering other Black young men that looked just like him and that was in the same age range as he was. Surely he was aware of Freddie Gray, who, after being transported, he should have never been taken into custody in the first place, had a spinal injury that many said was just the equivalent of them decapitating him. Shout out to you, Dave. Are y'all hearing me? Baltimore, like many other cities, have a long history of police murder against Black folk. How many of you are aware of the lynchings that took place? A Black female activist found her son hanging in a tree in her own yard. I did a show about it some time ago. But the world congratulated this Black mother for putting her Black son in check for acting out against white supremacy. But they didn't have that same kind of energy for the murderous police. You see how we got this thing twisted? Some of you thought it was good until you just heard what I said. I'm not saying that the first thing that they should have done was taken to the streets or put themselves in danger. I'm not saying to be reckless or to not be strategic. But this was a reaction to oppression. So Black mother was congratulated because she helped to keep Black masculinity in check that makes white folk feel safe to know that rightful indignation will never spill over and cause them to experience consequences for Black death. I was disgusted, Toya Graham, when I saw that. I'm sure she thought she was doing what was right. I'm sure she thought she was doing what was in the best interest of her child. But I was disgusted because her mother, Toya Graham, let me show you this. And if I forget, family, remind me to tell you what his mother said in a subsequent interview after that. I know people are busy today. But those of you that are in here today, thank you so much for tuning into the Vicki Show. Don't forget that I start my mastermind today. I'm going to have to cut the show off very early because I got to set up for that. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, clubvicky.com. Don't forget to text the word Queens to 31996. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Don't forget also that you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. I want you to watch this clip of Toya Graham. Hold on. Watch this. Family, let me tell you something. I'm showing us this, family, because Black folk, our behaviors are learned behaviors from our open enemy. The ones who broke your daddies, the ones that sodomized your fathers. What does that mean? That means that your white male slave masters rape the backsides of Black male men, and they rape the front side of Black women, and I'm sure sodomized them too. Set our bodies on fire, put the whip in our back, separated our families, traumatized us, stole from us, and too much more to say. They're the ones that congratulates the Black mother, promotes the Black mother when they keep the Black child in check after experiencing murder and death. I watched the subsequent interview of this mother, Toya Graham. Guess what she said during an interview? This Black mother said that one of the reasons that she went out there to stop her son is because she said that she may need the police one day. In other words, her son is making an enemy of the open enemy. So in case she needed to call the police one day for something, she didn't want her child to mess that up for her. She said that out of her own mouth, that one day she may need to call the police. Isn't that something? Family, that's nothing to be proud of. That's nothing for you to applaud. That's a sickness. Your open enemy told you that. And because he made you fearful, we justify our cowardice and we justify our own undoing. That's not all she said. The real reason that his mother knew where to find him, because I did my homework, I talked about this a long time ago, is because he talked to her about doing this, going out there the night before at home. Did you all hear what I just said? His mother knew where to find him because he had talked about it to her the night before. It's clear his heart was bleeding. He wanted to do something about the injustice of his people. That's how his mother knew where to find him, because he told his mama the night before he wanted to do it. She didn't want him to do it. Y'all better talk Black to me. I'm trying to let you know, dear family, that some things and some ways in which we operate is sick. And I'm trying to show us a mirror of ourselves to say, this is no good. You are being a tool for your open enemy. The parent that stayed in these cases was the mama. And mama, you're the first teacher. And that's not a good lesson. And then the second question is, where are the daddies? Somebody talk black to me. Shout out to you, Chris, for your gift. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. When I got to thinking about this, right? Because I got to hurry. I began to think about how NBA YoungBoy's mama encouraged him to basically unload and reload a Glock, basically, against her son's own black brothers. She encouraged him to murder them, not defend himself, but to murder them, to kill them. Watch this. The other mother, Miss Toya Graham, whose son wanted to stand up for justice because he had talked to his mom about it the night before. I know the news doesn't tell you all that. They don't tell you all that. That's why, thank God, you have black media. Something's wrong with you, black family, when you are at ease, when your open enemy is destroying you, killing you, murdering you. Something is wrong with you when you easily encourage your own children not to defend themselves, but you encourage them to murder their own brother in a way that you never would tell them to do their open enemy. Shout out to you, Dave. Dave says, love the way you're speaking the truth, sister. Thank you, beloved. Again, I'm being very clear. We're not encouraging at all, of course, violence. I'm just trying to show you how you're willing to kill your own. But the quickness. The one mother literally beats her son over white men, over a white supremacist system. Look at that. Think on that, family. Did you all saw the footage? An enemy has done this, though. Watch this. But it is our job to reprogram, because your open enemy is not going to fix you. They want this to be the case. Being a savage. What did I tell you a savage is when I'm talking about in the context of black people? It means one who has lost knowledge of themselves. Shout out to you, Tropical Punch Kool-Aid. Thank God for you, Queen, for your intelligent teaching skills. Love you for that. Love you back. Bless your gift 1,000-fold. I was reminded of something. And I want to show you the handprints of your open enemy that has 400-year consequences. But there is something that we can do to fix this. So when we talk about separation, when you hear folks in the nation talking about separate, y'all saw that movie, Get Out? Somebody talk black to me. Thank you, Shanna, for your gift. Getting out is us trying to incubate ourselves. It's us quarantining ourselves to get away from the disease for a moment of white supremacy so that we can gather ourselves enough to become strong, to actually effectively fight. What I'm about to read for you is something that I read to you before about the Moynihan report. I want you to listen to this. And I've always believed that in our fight for reparations, black family, that we need to use the government's own documents acknowledging the cause of our condition against them. I've always believed that we need to use These very documents, let me give you the government's own admission about our condition. We're going to have to fix ourselves. There's no white Jesus coming out the sky to save you. You got to first save your sanctified mind. We've got to first restore the black family, because the family home, the household, the black household is headquarters for us. If mama and daddy are messed up, there's no hope for black society. If the black family is afflicted and disabled, we are forever weakened against a white supremacist system. An enemy has done this, but it is our job to fix it. The Monahan Report is something that you can find anywhere, but because I love, as you all know, the book by Dr. Wesley Muhammad, Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity, the link will be in the chat where you can get it. I figured I would just go to this book because it had an excerpt from the report. Listen, you all know I like to give historical context. And it's no time like the present to discuss this, because, you know, we're making demands for reparations, right? And in our demand for reparations, here is Exhibit A, government's own admission that we need to use against them to further substantiate and support and supplement our demand, our righteous demand. Watch this. Dr. Wesley is talking about in this section of the book, The Rise of the Black Matriarchy. He says here, Daniel P. Monahan. How many of y'all have heard of him? Derek says, speak, Goddess. I'm doing my best, beloved. Dave says, thank you, wise sister. Stephen says, speak, God. Listen. Daniel P. Monahan was the Assistant Secretary of Labor in President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration. How many of you all know this is serious? He was what? The Assistant Secretary of Labor in LBJ's administration. Y'all listen. Y'all know we come with receipts. In 1965, he wrote and distributed a strictly in-house, non-public report to the president and his deputies entitled The Negro Family, the Case for National Action. Did you all know that existed? Shout out to you, Christopher. Thank you, Black Media. Thank you, Vicki. I'm awake and taking notes. Oh, bless you, beloved, and bless your gift 1,000-fold. Listen, did you all know that from the White House in LBJ's administration by his Assistant Secretary, Daniel Monahan, y'all listen, that there was a non-public, strictly in-house report that was titled The Negro, the Case for National Action. I'm saying that this document needs to be used for our case for reparations. For the squad, Ayanna Presley, AOC, Ilhan Omar, if y'all don't get sit your funny looking self down sitting up here trying to use these relief funds to talk about non-citizens before you talk about the foundation of Black Americans. This report was intended to motivate, it says, the president and his deputies to launch massive federal employment and anti-poverty initiatives directed at Black Americans. Y'all better listen. This strictly in-house report fell into the hands of some governmental mischief makers who were not pleased with either the report's conclusions or objectives. So you had some haters in the White House. So because they wanted to make sure that nothing was done about initiatives directed at Black Americans, they leaked it in order to undermine, Lord have mercy, where my gavel at? Courts in session. And y'all wondering why the plagues that's going to mess up America because of her refusal to stop messing with us, her refusal to do right and be just by us. Y'all are wondering why stuff is still going on. Oh, it's all interconnected. Keep listening. I'm about to go. Listen. They leaked small quotes torn from their context to the press and the public. A firestorm ensued. Once the already scandalized report was finally released to the public, many, including American feminists, this is the reason why I don't have no love for y'all like that, me too, that's been hijacked by Becky and Matilda and Gretchen and Laura. You will enjoy your name, Karen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my show from yesterday. Moderators, please find that link and put it in the chat. Once the already scandalized report was finally released to the public, many, including American feminists, launched a campaign to discredit it and neutralize the report's perceptive, candid observations and thwart its recommendations. In other words, to stop it. Keep listening. Keep listening. Having read the so-called Monahan report, listen to the quote. I'm getting ready to read to you a portion of the Monahan report that was written in 1965 by Lyndon B. Johnson's, of course, Bain is his middle name, but Assistant Secretary of Labor, Daniel Monahan. Listen. This is a quote from that document, that report. He says, the racist virus of America still afflicts us. 1965 was just the other day, Susie. Do you all see how these white American feminists? Y'all better pay attention. That's why you got to understand historical context. This is a quote. The racist virus of America still afflicts us, the report says. Listen. 3 centuries of sometimes unimaginable mistreatment have taken their toll on the Negro people. Somebody say America admitted this from the White House's administration under Lyndon B. Johnson. You research this, Black family. What did I tell you it's called? The Negro Family, the case for national action. We're going to use America's own words against her. Ain't nothing better than a confession. The harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out in the competitions of American life, they are not equal to most of those groups, y'all, Lord have mercy, with which they will be competing. Did y'all hear that part of the report? It says the harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out in the competitions of American life, they are not equal to most of those groups with which they are competing. Individually, Negro Americans reach the highest peaks of achievement. Woo! Somebody say that admission. Y'all hear that? Individually, he says, Negro Americans reach the highest peaks of achievement. Oprah, Michael Jordan, your random LeBrons. But collectively, y'all play too much. In the spectrum of American ethnic and religious and regional groups, where some get plenty and some get none, Negroes are among the weakest. He admits early on in the part of the report I read you, what did he say the cause of this was again, family? Centuries of unimaginable mistreatment have taken their toll on the Negro people. America admits that the current situation is directly connected to what they did when they stole us in chattel slavery, convict leasing, sharecropping, Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. We're just giving you the facts. They admit this in private. It is more difficult for whites. It is more difficult. This is still a quote from the report. This is a direct quote from the report. It is more difficult for whites to perceive the effect that 3 centuries of exploitation have had on the fabric of Negro society itself. Here, the consequences of the historic injustices done to Negro Americans are silent and hidden from view. Say that the White House admitted this. Y'all better talk black to me. So the anger that they say we have, the uncompromising disposition that we have, is what you, white America, from the highest levels of government already know and admit. Keep listening. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking, keep sharing. Richard said, I absolutely love you, Vicki Dillard. I absolutely love you back. Derek said, proof, actual facts, baby. That's right, actual facts. Keep listening. Family, I'm going in 5 minutes. Listen, I got to go because I got to set up for my brief mastermind class tonight. That's about to happen in a few minutes. Clubvicky.com. Thumbs up, like, and share. We're not worrying about how YouTube keeps trying to block and shadow ban my show. Y'all know the problems we've been having. Some of you all have been complaining in the comment sections of some of my other videos, baby. We're going to keep moving forward. It's up to you guys to hit the share button, copy the link, and share it all out on social media. Y'all keep listening. I'm almost done. And keep the image of those black mothers that you saw. Keep the image of Floyd Mayweather in your mind. It says again, what? Here, the consequences of the historic injustices done to Negro Americans are silent and hidden from view. But here is where the true injury has occurred. Unless the damage is repaired. Lord have mercy. Somebody say, when you study the etymology of the word reparations, what does the word reparations mean? Family, we're using the government's own words. When white folks play dumb and act like, why you need this and what's this and what that, baby, you don't even need to quote. You don't even need to think of nothing. All you need to do is have on hand a copy of this report, an excerpt of this part of the report where they themselves admit it. Listen. Unless this damage is repaired, all the effort to end discrimination and poverty and injustice will come to little. Of the greatest importance, watch this, watch this, watch this. Of the greatest importance, the Negro male became an object of intense hostility, an attitude unquestionably based in some measure on fear, keeping the Negro in his place, can be translated as keeping the Negro male in his place. The female was not a threat to anyone. The very essence of the male animal, from the Batum rooster to the four-star general, is to strut. I'm trying to tell you what the thing said, y'all. Indeed, in the 19th century America, a particular type of exaggerated male boastfulness became also a national style. Y'all better talk black to me. Not for the Negro male. The sassy nigger, that's a quote, was lynched. The Negro community has been forced into a matriarchal structure which seriously retards, that means to slow down, the progress of the group as a whole, and imposes a crushing burden on the Negro male and, in consequence, on many Negro women as well. He's talking about the fathers that were absent in the home, as were a fourth of the black homes in 1965. Y'all listen, I gotta go. The point of this is this, family. Dr. Wesley makes it clear, despite all the negative press the Monahan report received and still receives, it did correctly, and he says it's not flawless, he said, but it did correctly identify the problem, its root, and the consequences. I'm skipping. The result is the total realization of Monahan's prediction. Entrenched, multi-generational poverty is largely black and is intricately intertwined with the collapse of the nuclear family. While 26% of American children were born into single-parent homes in 2005, 72% of black children were. At the time of Monahan's report, 1965, 24% of black children were born into single-family homes. Just so you know, family, President Johnson acknowledged the truth of the report but then did nothing to implement its findings or recommendations. Somebody say, cut the check. Somebody say, Black family, heal your homes. The Black household is headquarters. Mom and daddy, you got to get it together. You're going to have to heal yourselves. But we got to first identify where the enemy has done this. You're taking on the behaviors of your open enemy. It's not okay to encourage your son to unload his gun and then reload it and kill his brother. It's not okay to make your son weak and fearful and to punish him publicly because he wants to stand against injustice. An enemy has done this, but we've got to do the work to fix it ourselves. Family, there's so much more, as you all can imagine, that I want to say. Almost 1,000 of you finally came on in here. That's okay, family. I'm getting ready to go right now. Clubvicki.com. I'm getting ready to start my mastermind class in just a few minutes. I can't wait to see those of you all there that's going to be a part of the VIP question and answer in just a few moments. Clubvicki.com. Don't forget to meet me tomorrow. Same time, same place, God willing, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Family, meet me. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my Instagram page at VickiX.com. That's VickiX.com. Again, make sure that if you want to learn how to build a Black business from qualified Black people, reach out to us at flynubianbusiness.com. That's flynubianbusiness.com. Text the word Queens to 31996. Would you text the word Queens to 31996? I thank you so much for joining us. I came to you in peace. I leave you in the same manner. Assalamu alaikum.